you know, Zohran's extremely bright and seems like a genuinely decent person. But who knows politically what his reasoning is, what he really is about, who has approached him when. We don't know. We don't know, like that. And that's just the way that this whole business works.
But that's where that's where the AOC effect comes into play, and where you really have to question who he's taking advice from, who is in his ear, and suggesting that this is the direction to go in. If somebody wants to primary AIPAC Shakur, a very good nickname, by the way.
That's a great name.
If somebody wants to do that, and this isn't, remember, she is not just anybody. He's a sitting city council member in New York. He's already got a name. That's why they're freaking out about this. If this was some no-name person who just decided, well, I'm a progressive and not corporate and I'm anti-Israel, so I'm not going to take the money, so I'll run against him. No, you actually have somebody who has somewhat of a political following within the city already that is now deciding, where are we now? We're in November. This person is deciding about 9 months out that, hey, I want to go for it. Okay, so why is that a problem? It's one thing if you're AOC. Forget her. Seriously, forget AOC. I don't want to forget this thought that I just feel like this just makes me want to support him so much. Oh, yeah. It's a Streisand effect in full effect all over again.
Oh my God. I don't even know who, like, I forget the guy's name. And yet now I'm wanting to like add him to our slate.
Can I also just say why I'm not like a hardcore progressive and never will be? I am a hardcore populist, but I will never be a hardcore progressive because I hear the DSA people already bitching about this guy apparently only joining the DSA like a year ago. Okay, so once again, how long are you supposed to be a part of the DSA before you're an accepted member? Or is it just all political opportunism? The fact that you guys are still attached to the Democratic Party in any capacity, you don't have any leg to stand on. If it'd be one thing, if you were strictly supporting Green Party candidates, independent candidates, even a libertarian candidate, you don't support anybody who isn't a Democrat. So the fact that you would even say such a thing is incredible. But on top of everything else, Hakeem Jeffries, more than anybody else, is going to work overtime to stop Zohran's agenda. He is considered the most prominent Democrat in the House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi. But for now, he is holding that title. And so as a result, leave it to our friend of the show, Blakeley, to pretty much put everything in perspective here, because I don't trust Alex as far as I can throw her, but I also believe that there is a certain amount of jealousy on her part when it comes to Zohran.
Oh, yes.
She does not want him hogging the spotlight.
No, she's smart enough to see that he's a lot smarter and more capable than she is. She's smart enough to see that.
Let's hear what Blakeley has to say.
Right here is why I did not fuck with her and Bernie Sanders' Fight the Oligarchy tour that happened recently when everybody else was fawning all over it. Because it's very easy to say, fight the oligarchy, stand up to the establishment, when it's vague and faceless and nameless. But then when somebody takes your advice and says, you know, I'm going to primary the guy who is completely funded and controlled by Wall Street and AIPAC, you go, oh, did I say fight the oligarchy? I didn't mean ours. Similar to what Bernie said when he was asked about Chuck Schumer's disastrous handling of the government shutdown. He's like, well, I'm not going to call for him to step down, but make sure you stand up to the establishment. Okay, so you guys want to tell people to stand up to the establishment, but then when they do in your own party, you're like, what? You didn't mean like that. Which is...
Exactly. We're bringing the ruckus, right, Alex? You're bringing the ruckus.
You know, I've pointed out, as you have, that if you really want to know the difference between AOC and her GOP equivalent MTG, Marjorie at least actually brings policy to the floor and is actually willing to buck her own she's willing to buck the president of the United States who rules with an iron fist. You won't even buck the minority leader of your own party in your own city. And it's not even a question of going up against him. It would be one thing if she just decided that, look, Godspeed to she, we're not getting involved. If somebody wants to primary Jeffries, That's their business. I'm not getting involved, but best of luck to him. Have at it. Instead, she says, you really shouldn't be doing that. Who in the F would say such a thing unless they're a company person or wants to be a company person? You know, Zaina really said it best. Everyone helped AOC get onto the ladder. And then as soon as she had her footing on it, she pulled the ladder up and made sure nobody else could get on.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you're saying it in terms of, like, I just want people to realize how far the Overton window has shifted. So you're saying it like, you know, she should have at least just stayed out of it. Like, that's at a bare minimum, right? Like what you would expect her to stay out of it. When in fact, this is the same person who was bringing the ruckus. So you would think in theory that she would be about that. But the truth is she's not, and she hasn't been in a long time, if ever. I think maybe her first week there, she was like bringing the ruckus. And ever since then, she's fallen in line and is thinking of her own political career so obviously and is not doing anything for anybody. She's just a grifter at this point. So, you know, it's quite unfortunate, but she's going to try to attach herself to Mamdani's coattails for sure.
Well, it's not even that she's just attaching herself to Mamdani's coattails. The only thing I'm thinking to myself is, what good does this do? I haven't heard a single word regarding whether or not Jeffries, at the threat of a primary gun, if you will, is going to say, listen, don't support the primary challenger, and I'm going to make sure that you get your government-run individual grocery store in each of the 5 boroughs. Like, that's going to be my job. I'm going to make sure that that happens. There has been no indication that any bit of a cookie has been thrown in his direction, even though he doesn't officially get sworn in for another 6 weeks. And the idea that you're already folding like a cheap suit, it's understandable why our friends at RBN are as radical as they are, because they talk up Shama, and knowing that Shama would never cave like this.
No.
In fact, she would be looking to gain even more influence in a positive light if she were able to win the congressional seat. Whereas in this case, what are you capitulating to? It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, Hakeem Jeffries is, there's so many things I want to say, but I'm not able to properly.
You won't know to say it for you, basically.
I don't want to say it. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that he's there by the grace of Nancy Pelosi. He was put there as a DEI, if you want to be like, he's an ultimate DEI hire type of person sitting there for Team Blue. And if she were really serious, she wouldn't be aligned with him. If she were serious, if she were a serious person and really went to Congress to bring the ruckus, to make things different, to fight for working people, then she wouldn't be aligned with him. Those two things are contradictory. So she's just, I find her to be a grifter now.
Well, Blakeley's got more to say that probably concurs with your statement.
It's particularly galling because we all know that AOC has her seat because she challenged an incumbent in leadership. And remember, this is the same AOC that tried to gaslight all of us and tell us that Joe Biden was the best person to run for re-election. That
she is working nonstop for a ceasefire. I just have to say, and the reason I paused it again, if should there ever be an image, you know how they say, this is what you voted for and this is what you got? This is what you got is this image right here of Alex.
I'm so disgusted.
Aren't we all?
With the sunglasses. No
this is just the newest example of why I don't trust her. This shit was the nail in the coffin for trust. She and Bernie are hypocrites, but I already dealt with Bernie in the other video. She is a hypocrite because not only, as I said, did she get her seat in the first place by challenging an incumbent, but what I also need everybody to understand is that it's in moments like this that you realize how unserious they are about change. How all that, oh, stop oligarchy tour is bullshit and they don't mean it. Because when push comes to shove and somebody actually says, you know what? Hakeem Jeffries is really fucking corrupt. We should primary him. She swoops in to go, I don't think it's the right time. The same bullshit that they try to manipulate you with every single fucking election, whether it's the midterms or the general election, they constantly tell you, oh, it's not the right time. It's not the right time. No, it's always the right time to oust an AIPAC shill. Thank you.
Exactly.
So
there is no time like right now. But yeah, but by the way, can we talk about Ilhan's face right now in this picture for a second?
Yeah.
What do you think? Like, let's just play what do you think she's thinking going through her mind? Like, what do you think? And just so people are very clear, I've met Ilhan. I think she's lovely. I have nothing, like, we're just playing around now, like with what do you think she's thinking?
I think we know what Ilhan is thinking, and what she is thinking is that you don't belong you don't belong in the big leagues. Like, this is the big leagues. This is where people come when they actually want to be a public servant. You want to be a celebrity. You want to be an influencer. Mm-hmm. And as of such, she is quite the influencer. She probably has, outside of the president, the biggest following on social media. Take with that what you will, if that matters. But at the same time, that is not what a person who was elected to change the course of left populism in this country was hired to do. And frankly, it'd be one thing if she was making any type of an effort. I don't see her making any effort at all. In fact, I think that she is now prominently in a position where she is actively working against us. To that end, I say, Alex, why not become an insider trader of the highest order and become wealthy? Like, what are you waiting for?
Well, that's what I was saying in terms of, okay, why not take AIPAC money? You're voting to give money to Israel anyway. Like, what difference does it make? You're just doing their work for free. That's actually dumber. But no, what I think Ilhan Omar is somebody, she is a very effective legislator, and she's gotten a lot of things through on a lot of bills. She's pushed a lot of legislation that has helped her community and her district and been able to really help her people. And so, I know that she's been very effective in that way, and that she is a very good legislator. She also reads everything. She writes her own stuff. Like, she's extremely policy wonky, cerebral in her head. That's just, she likes this stuff. But Alex has nothing like that. Alex has no history of really getting legislation through. I don't think she's done, like, what has she done? And certainly I haven't heard about anything that she's done to help her people of her district.
Well, I'm not aware.
What I think Ilhan is, I think, like, when I look at Ilhan in this picture, I don't want to think that she has any sort of thoughts like, oh, this woman just is so all about herself. And, but I can't help but think she does somewhat, or I hope she does.
Well, when I spoke to her, she kind of indicated as much. She didn't say Alex by name, but it's pretty obvious what direction she was going in. And I want people to really understand this, that there is not enough that I can say. There are people who play politics that do it for the show. We've talked about Jasmine Crockett. And even at times, Ilhan has done that. But don't ever compare the daily life of AOC or Jasmine Crockett to that of Rashida Tlaib or Ilhan Omar. These are people that face death threats every single day.
Every
single day. And now that the tide is turning against Israel, forget it. Now you want to talk about people that really do need security detail?
Oh, yeah. For sure.
And yet at the same time, they always manage to do their job. Were there occasions where maybe, Rashida on occasion or Ilhan on occasion will play to the cameras? Yes. It's politics. And I hate it as much as everybody else does.
You love it.
However, that's all Alex does. All she does is play for the cameras. And I would like to think that just about anybody who's very concerned about where we are today would feel the same way. This was an effective legislator who was doing her job and making real change. She would have the influence to say, it's not the right time to go after Jeffries. I have my reasons. Trust me on this. You have nothing to stand on. Zero. You don't have anything. The only thing you have is that you're a good-looking woman with a personality that a lot of certain people like, and you are waiting for your opportunity, whether to run against Schumer or to run, dare I say, for president. And that's the only reason that she's doing business the way that she's doing it. That's it. And I want to bring this up. Colin, I want that clip that I sent you earlier, please. Just a little while ago.
Yeah, she's an opportunist. And the thing about somebody like Ilhan is that Alex doesn't strike me as someone who's working tirelessly behind the scenes to pass legislation and actually get shit done. I don't get that at all. Whereas I know that's the case with Ilhan Omar.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. Colin, I need that clip, the one from with Rashida, guy from The Office earlier. I just want to point this out. We're not going to do a whole segment on it. When I say that these guys, certain representatives face certain scrutiny every day, I want people to remember that when it comes to the Zio state, they are able to get away with things that not everybody else is able to get away with. And that includes being able to stroll into the halls of Congress and get access, whether because they have a handler or they are the handler and they're just able to walk directly through the halls and think that they're just going to go and do whatever they want. Now, the person in question that I want you guys to see, because this numbnuts decided to do this earlier this afternoon, and make no mistake, the reason this person did what they did is because they want to scare her and scare her out of either public life or to make her continue have to look over her shoulder every day. This jack-off in question's name is Yosef Haddad. Yosef Haddad decided that he was going to get all rough and tough today with Rashida Tlaib.
We are going to Rashida Tlaib's office. Arab Israelis to send her a clear message. Just wait for it. We send a clear message to Rashida Tlaib. Don't support terrorism. Fuck Hamas. فهمتي؟ ولا أهون منها.
Oh my God.
He's tough, Jen.
Yeah.
He's real tough. But you know what no one else talks? You know what this fuck wouldn't talk about?
Yeah.
See all those Post-it notes that are stuck on her wall?
Yeah.
Who do you think those are from? Those are from people that are thanking her for supporting the Palestinians.
Yes, it is.
You spineless little fuck. I would dare this piece of cock-sucking shit to even look at me the wrong way if I was walking in the same hall. You see, you'll do this to women. You'll do this to children.
Exactly.
But you won't do it to other men. Other men that are the same size as you.
Exactly. Because you know what's interesting? They don't even do it against the male representatives that do vote in alignment with Rashida Tlaib on the things that they have. Like there have been men that have voted that way, so they don't go after them. They only go after the women.